Boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, children of all ages, it's Jesse with the Common Nerd, bringing you pop culture and all things through a common sense lens. And if you haven't heard this little movie from this very small, tiny indie company out there called Disney Marvel, called The Thunderbolts, came out over the weekend, ladies and gentlemen. And well, needless to say, the box office predictions weren't exactly looking good for this movie to begin with. And considering the insane budget, just like the majority of these major studios from Hollywood continuing to put behind these movies that simply don't resonate with fans and don't do very well at the box office, well, needless to say, despite the media spin and despite them not wanting to come out and be honest about a lot of their headlines out there, at the end of the day, we know that 2 plus 2 still equals 4 at a domestic box office opening weekend of $76 million when you have the kind of insane budget that so many of these Disney Marvels do. Well, that's going to lead to one thing and one thing only, boys and girls, an absolute flop, and that is actually kind of sad to hear, because for the most part, people that I've talked to actually seem to enjoy the movie. Like a lot of the people that I've heard from that would normally be completely and totally against everything Disney Marvel are like, it's okay, it's not bad, it's pretty good, there's some fun parts in there. Although almost every single person has also come to the same conclusion that most people, unless you're some hardcore fan out there that really, really, really wants to see these characters on the big screen, or you're all about the big screen experience, wait for streaming on this one. And based on these opening weekend box office numbers, it looks like the majority of Marvel fans out there are doing exactly that. Because as you can see here over from the headline over at cosmicbook.news, Thunderbolts bombs with a $76 million box office second weekend MCU opening. A second worst MCU opening weekend, boys and girls. This is abysmally bad, and based on the at best 50% weekend over weekend drop, based on simple math, boys and girls, there is no way this movie can make a profit. And whether or not you love the movie or not, get mad at me in the comments all you want. At the end of the day, I'm just bringing you the hard facts of what these numbers look out to. So we're going to check out this article from cosmicbook.news, getting all of the juicy details of exactly where this lines up in the rest of the absolute slop the MCU has been putting out over the last few years. But before we do, if you do enjoy our content, hit that like button, share with all your friends, and subscribe or follow, boys and girls, if you have not already, because we're just crossed 1,800. We're sailing our way towards 1,900, and I could not do that without every single one of you. Also, leave us a comment in the section down below. Let us know what you think. Did you go see the Thunderbolts opening weekend? Did you enjoy the movie? Or are you one of those, just like many other Marvel fans out there, that are going to be completely and totally wait and see on this situation? Let us know about all that in the comment section down below. And if I can support the channel and become a member, please check out the links in the description down below, and you will get your name at the end credits of every single one of these videos. Plus access to a bunch of other fun stuff as well. All right, from Matt McGloin over there at cosmicbook.news. As expected, following Captain America Brave New World, Thunderbolts is the next box office disaster from Kevin Feige and Marvel Studios. Thunderbolts actually scores the second worst MCU opening of all time when you factor in inflation, only outperforming the Marvels. It fails to even beat Eternals. And mind you, the Marvels was the biggest disaster that arguably Hollywood, if not especially Marvel, had ever seen. That movie cost them hundreds of millions of dollars at the box office. I mean, they literally yanked it after 30 days of being in the theaters and announced when it was coming to Disney Plus. Yeah, needless to say, not exactly the company Thunderbolts wants to be in. The flick cost a massive $180 million plus, likely another $100 million in marketing. It'll be lucky to hit $400 million unless it has legs. Its second weekend will be a big test, and that's the absolute truth. We've said this a million times in our box office videos over and over and over again. The audience is what decides whether or not things succeed or fail. It's not the marketing from Disney. It's not the Hollywood Trade Magazine critics. It's none of those people. The audiences decide. Now, like I said, I've been hearing some pretty decent things, but the problem is, even with a start, like, you have to have a great word of mouth in order to have a 50% drop. More than likely, it's going to be a 60 or 70% drop, if not even worse, because it's not like people are running out there and saying this movie's great, it's the best thing Marvel's ever produced, you have to go see it. No, at best, they're saying it's good. And that is not going to get people out to the box office considering the current price of tickets. And when they know in 30 to 45 days, it'll just be on Disney Plus for them to watch either way. And once again, that's a problem with a $180 million budget. It's just not going to work. And yes, one of the things that was basically kind of a tongue-in-cheek, one of the marketing things, they've now rebranded Thunderbolts to the new Avengers, boys and girls, because if you actually saw the movie, spoiler alert, that is what they become at the end of the movie out there. And boys and girls, it's one of them situations where, yeah, needless to say, I don't think the rebranding is going to help their marketing. And just as somebody who didn't think about it for very long, just my knee-jerk reaction, I was like, ooh, this is desperate. You're trying to call them the new Avengers in your marketing now? Don't know if that's really going to work out. But brave move, Cotton. We'll see how it works out for it. It's a bold move. The trade reports that Thunderbolts opened to $76 million, which is right in line with the estimates. The foreign, and which will probably end up coming in a little bit under that after final numbers are tallied, but we'll see what happens. The foreign gross is also soft, $86.1 million, which gives the Thunderbolts a current $162 million worldwide gross. It's guessed that the break-even number for Thunderbolts is around $500 to $600 million. So it's looking like another Marvel movie will lose at least $100 million for the Walt Disney Company. And boys and girls, this comes on top of the billions of dollars they have lost over the last few years. Disney is broke, and the Thunderbolts is not going to help out their bottom line. Reactions have been good, so there is that. However, bear in mind those reactions come from bottom-of-the-barrel Marvel fans that go see everything Marvel and eat up whatever Feige throws at them. Now, to be fair, right, some of the people that I heard from are not those kind of people. Some of them are just cinephiles that love to go see a movie at the box office and enjoy the box office experience no matter what. And some of them are just absolute masochists who want to go see how bad it really is so they can at least give a honest and informed opinion. There's been a lot of guys out there on Twitter like Epic Mike and one of my own guys out there in the chat, Spartacus, who went and saw this movie and they said it's good. There's some fun things for hardcore fans out there, but honestly, at the end of the day, most people still say to wait for streaming. And it looks like most people, that's exactly what they're going to do. For comparison to a recent Marvel movie that actually succeeded, Deadpool and Wolverine opened to $211 million on its opening weekend. So that means about 64% of those fans who went to see Deadpool and Wolverine didn't bother going to see the Thunderbolts. Color us shocked there. Deadpool and Wolverine was marketed as giving the fans everything they could have possibly wanted from a Deadpool and Wolverine movie. Outrageous fight scenes, over-the-top gags, them constantly going back and forth at each other, a bunch of cameos from some of our most beloved characters from the Fox Marvel universe. I mean, all of these kind of things out there. It gave everybody what they wanted. What did Thunderbolts offer you? A movie about the majority group of characters that unless you saw Black Widow or watched the Disney Plus series, you had no idea who any of these people were. Outside of Bucky Barnes, you literally had nobody in this movie that general audiences would actually recognize. And guess what? You didn't make Bucky the head. You did that for the beautiful Florence Pugh. So yeah, probably not a great start. The argument is that Thunderbolts aren't well known. Guardians of the Galaxy opened to $127 million with inflation factored in, which was another group of characters nobody knew anything about. But the marketing and the trailers and everything else looked really good and got a lot of fans excited. I'd actually argue that the problem is Thunderbolts is another MCU movie. Fans aren't interested. The female fans certainly aren't showing up again, just like they didn't show up for the Marvels. They didn't show up for the Marvels, Black Widow, or any of the Disney Plus series. Yeah, the majority of those audiences, even though Disney's been trying to chase a female audience since literally they bought Star Wars, yeah, it's still the majority male who goes see your stuff, even when it's your MCU propaganda nonsense. So, there you go. Exactly. What's that tell you? But yet they show up for Ryan Reynolds, Hugh Jackman, and Tom Holland because those movies make $1 billion at the box office. The Thunderbolts with their MCU-led team, not so much. Why didn't Feige have Winter Soldier as the star of the Thunderbolts? Good question, and I think we all know the answer to that. MCU Wham Power Go! Except Wham Power Go doesn't exactly work out very well at the box office, now does it? Things have been so bad post-Endgame that in a recent report from Wall Street Journal, it's revealed that Feige is overhauling Marvel to get the studio back on track. The report offers the following. In his introduction to screening that night, Thunderbolts director Jake Shire said, "When I first started on the movie, Kevin said, make it different. This weekend, box office receipts will show whether that's what Marvel fans want." Well, it's pretty clear Marvel fans don't want Thunderbolts. Maybe that's why they're so quick to change the name. But honestly, this lines up with exactly what Kevin Feige told the people that did Daredevil Born Again. And the problem is there's so much leftover slop that even if Kevin Feige is trying to tell them to change things, and this comes amid reports that in the exact same interview, it's talked about that Kevin Feige now feels like watching these movies is more homework than actual entertainment that he can enjoy, which I guarantee you, as a lot of the movie reviewers out there can tell you, it is nothing more than homework and hard to get through at this point. But it's one of them situations where this is what they've done to themselves. Kevin Feige might realize that there's something wrong, but I don't think he fundamentally understands at a creative level what he really has to do to change things. You can get rid of all of the activist producers, fire all these writers and everything else, but you've lost and forced out and fired so much talent over there at Disney Marvel that the people you have left are not to the quality you need to turn these things around. And not to mention, so much of this stuff came in with a bad premise. Again, you're like, fix it. Well, it's too late to fix something that the whole premise of it behind it was going to be garbage. Replacing Foggy and Karen with diversity hires in Daredevil Born Again. Right after you decided to knock one of them off in the first episode and make Karen go completely and totally disappear until the end. It's the same thing with this one. Florence Pugh is a beautiful woman. I think she's a good actress. But when you have a character that is completely unrecognizable, then when you have the Winter Soldier standing right next to her and you decided from the get-go not to make him lead the Thunderbolts, not make him lead your new Avengers team, no, you decided to go wham and power forward. And by the time you said you wanted things changed, it was too little too late. Most of the shots have been done, all the writing had been done, all you were down to was editing, and guess what? It wasn't enough to save this movie, just like it wasn't enough to save Winter Soldier, and it wasn't enough to save Daredevil Born Again. And Kevin Feige, you have done this to yourself. You decided to listen to all those acolytes of the cult, all those people possessed by the spirit of the age that told you, oh, this new modern audience is going to replace your old bigoted audience, and you're still going to make the same money, you're going to make even more money because you're even more inclusive, and those stupid little bigot nerd Marvel idiots out there, they'll show up to whatever slop you put out there. It won't matter about the agenda. How did that work out, Kevin Feige? You listened to a bunch of crazy, insane, agenda-driven people lying to you about what the next hot thing was while completely and totally ignoring and ostracizing the built-in fan base you had with Marvel to begin with. Well, guess what? Whether or not Thunderbolts is a good movie or not, it's another prime example of why Kevin Feige has no idea what he's doing when it comes to Marvel, and although he might be trying to change things now, it is way too little, way too late, and the Thunderbolts movie will lose at the box office. 2 + 2 still equals 4 after all.